the purist. Roll it, roll it.
Welcome in, everyone, to Aurora Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, week number 6. We have a battle in A group tonight as the Super Saiyans take on the Kokomo Keyblade Masters. My name is Nave, joined alongside Fish tonight. Fish, how are you feeling about this matchup?
Feeling good. Keyblade Masters obviously trying to stay undefeated. Saiyans trying to get into that top 2 of their group so they can stay in the A group for the next stage. So both teams got stuff to play for. How
Yeah,
are you feeling about it?
I'm excited. Yeah, Super Saiyans. It's a really important game for them. If they win, most likely they'll stay in the top of group. Of course, it matters. The other game that's also happening at the exact same time with the Deal Sealers taking on the Basilisks. If the Deal Sealers win, I think the Super Saiyans. I mean, depending on it might come down to map differential.
Yes, map
And you want to stay in that top two because the teams in the top group guarantee themselves a playoff spot. Really important going into the last stage. So definitely matters a lot for the Saiyans. Map number 1 is going to be King's Row, as picked by the Saiyans. Keyblade Masters chose to go for ban first, banning out the Lucio, the May ban in response from the Saiyans. How do you feel about the Lucio as like the first ban, and you choose ban first to specifically ban out this Lucio?
Yeah, I think it's more of the Keyblade Masters are pretty flexible. They have a kind of their Ramatra brawl comp with Big Brain on tank, and then they have sort more of a they can kind of do some poke with Silvertals, maybe some Zarya. So I think they just felt like the map was relatively unimportant to them. And then I think the Lucio was more of a choice based on the map. So because King's Row was the pick, they're going to go into this brawl comp. However, Captain Rex is more of a Mizuki player. I know, like, if they have to play Lucio, they'll even put Silvertals on it because they don't really feel super comfortable with Rex playing it. So I think that ban makes sense.
Yeah, we are going to have a ringer in this match, so when you look at these lineups for map number 1, just know that Altair is actually not going to be playing for the Super Saiyans. It is, in fact, Tommy Slat. Instead, Tommy Slat approved to play Hazard, Sigma, Winston, Ramatra, and Zarya. I imagine we'll probably see the Ramatra or the Zarya here on King's Row. But the rest of the lineup's pretty standard here for both teams. Notably, Big Brain can be starting on tank here for the Keyblade Masters.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a Ram prod.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah, probably gonna be a Ram. We're gonna get this foliage DPS comp for the Saiyans that have become kind of their preferred comp, which I think makes sense. I think that's part of the May ban calculus as well. You know, foliage is pretty good at May, so I think maybe forcing foliage to play Reaper, which is you know is definitely one of his better characters, but also is not amazing on King's Row. I think that's
Oh.
part of it. Getting a
Poke.
quick little leave from TC again. This is the third time he's DC'd.
Yeah, I think he's having some PC issues. He's crashed a few times. So hopefully TC can get that sorted out. I know the Saiyans at least have some lineups where TC isn't in the roster, so like worst case scenario for them, they have to switch their lineup here. But it is unfortunate that TC is having so many issues.
Let's get a little chippy in the chat. a little impatient from understandable. We are 22 minutes late to start this, so
Thank you.
definitely a little rough.
Yeah, thank you, Sandwich Huby, for the prime here. Watching Aurora Esports. Should be a good game tonight. Hopefully these issues don't, you know, last forever because I mean I'm really excited about this game, and it would be a shame if it kind of got derailed here due to either PC crashes or poor internet.
Yeah, I think it would be unfortunate, but especially for the Saiyans, like if they had to get a ringer like in the middle of the game.
Tommy Slat joking, we're getting Mardox to ring for TC. Maybe a slight upgrade potentially. Who knows?
Yeah, just I mean I've never seen him play Lucio.
I don't think I have either. I've seen him play plenty of support, but I can't remember the Lucio ever.
Rex hovering over Juno here instead of the Mizuki. That's also makes sense. KR is, I think, one of the better Juno maps in the game. It's very one lane, so I think Juno gets a lot of value. It's like both teams hovering it, so gonna get a little Juno mirror going.
Potentially here map number 1 with Lucio, I suppose, banned. You still want to run with that speed, and so I guess the Juno's next best option. Just kind of shows the pace that these two teams want to play at. They want to go fast. They don't really want to play it slow.
Yeah, we're gonna be on the Venture, whatever character that name is, Freya, for the Saiyans. No, I actually played against Foliage yesterday. Okay.
And Greg's gone this time. Oh boy, can we get a little pause here? This is not good. This is disappointing.
So Nate, what have you been up to today? Anything fun?
Not much. Just been we're doing some pugs. There's actually some Aurora pugs, I think, still going on right now. I was doing a little bit before this. So definitely kind of been a busy Friday night for. I've actually got 2 pugs lobbies going on. There's so many people in pugs.
Wow, we're so popular. Aurora Esports popping off.
Yeah, everyone active tonight, and that's with 2 games going on at this exact moment.
Yeah.
Right? Actually, no, I think I lied. The other one is actually just a scrim. It's not a pug.
Oh, well.
So I mean, there's a pugs lobby plus 2 games plus scrims going on. Lots happening in the Aurora world tonight.
Yeah. Looks like Swifters might be getting the call for the ringer. That's just alleged. Okay, we're going back in.
Yeah, Greg's back in, but unfortunately, I mean, the Saiyans, they're just going to be down one of their supports with Greg getting D-seats and all the way back to spawn. So the Keyblade Masters are just going to walk forward, form here from, say, Kana. Nesquix has jumped into the backline already from Pokemon Guy. I mean, this Reaper is... I mean, he's just got a 3K already. I mean, Nesquix took no time to get started here.
Yeah. This Bastion Reaper is going to be really hard for the opposing Ramatra. I will say that's like an incredibly challenging comp to play Ramatra into, and crucially, Orisa is not approved. So there is no way Tommy can swap to Orisa here, which would probably be the optimal pick. Could go Sigma, which isn't terrible into it, but Ramatra is just going to get farmed by this Bastion.
Nesquix is just hiding in the corner, waiting for Laura to come there. And I mean, he just 2-shots the poor Freya. I mean, this Reaper is kind of unmatched on these side angles. And it's a problem if you're the Saiyans, because you want to have this Venture really cause some problems in the backline, but they've been getting marked out. Foliage not been able to really be in aggressive position. Big Brain's kind of split off though here. Not really sure how the Ramatra got to that side angle. He's going to regroup with the team now, but cost him a lot of resources to make sure that Ramatra stayed alive. So now Foliage going to dig into the backline. It's a nice slow coming out from Tommy Slat. Foliage going to follow up with that with the drill run. However, it does get traded. And Greg has DC'd once again. And so can't pause. It's mid-fight. And so I have to play it out. It's still 2 for 2. And now the pause comes out. Oh, I don't know who is... Master Jedi's left the game. Oh, no, he's been pushed in. Oh, man. I don't know who Captain is, but I don't think you're allowed to pause mid-fight.
The call. It's fine. Master Jedi is getting the call to sub in for Greg on main support, so that's not ideal, but at least we got 5 players in the lobby, right?
Hey, I mean, Master Jedi is gotta be better than nobody. I mean,
I would agree.
So, you know, and this fight is even still winnable for the Super Saiyans. They've gotten good trades in it as well. I think they still have 3 people alive. And Big Brain, no form here. Bola comes out from lore, hits right onto the Ramatra. The Moira is there from Captain Rex, though. Still have both supports to keep him nice and healthy. And now the ults come online here for the Keyblade Masters. Might be their opportunity. Beam out here. Silvertall's going to walk forward with that one. It's another good slow from Tommy Slat. and they go in to help with Foliage once again getting the kills, but the Bastion inside that Juno beam did so much damage to the backline, forces Tommy Sled to use the Annihilation, but just kind of out of range, going to end early there, and it's just a 1v3 here for the Ramacha. He's going to go down. Second point cap coming through here for the Keyblade Masters. Just an unfortunate situation for the Saiyans, and leads to a ginormous time bank here on third point.
Yeah, definitely rough. Tommy, I think, saw a little bit of a vision. I saw it for a split second as well, but into this comp, it's like there's just not a lot for the Ramatra to shoot. Like, you're shooting the Bastion and the Reaper. There's just not a lot you're having fun against.
Nesquik's kind of hiding in the side angle. Gets marked there by Foliage quite well. It's going to force that Wraith. Going to TP in anyways. And Big Brain had walked forward with the Annihilation, getting the kill on Pokemon Guy. It's actually just a complete wipe. Foliage had tried to go for the Tectonic Shock at the back line, but didn't really find anything there. And all it cost them was the Coalescence plus the Annihilation. Keyblade Masters still have ults in hand. Laura's kind of stuck on this high ground alone. Might be looking for the trade, but Tommy Sled does do a good job there, shutting down Nesquik's. Better spawns are favoring the Saiyans here, so potentially still an opportunity to stall this out, play their numbers advantage. Saikana went for the Bastion bombs, but just kind of shot them on Tommy Sled there, not really the target you want to go for. Big Brain is completely split off in this, backwards area behind the point. He's going to get turned around on. And the Super Saiyans, they have the hold for now.
Yeah, Laura crucially staying alive that fight. Getting a nice trade on the Nesquik's. Kind of the starting gun for the Saiyans. Gonna have to try to build some fights in a row. Yeah, it's not impossible. 3.5 minutes, definitely doable. They are building up on this rush.
Nesquik's jumped down for the high ground, looking for the Death Blossom, catches it onto Foliage. Pokemon Guy taken down by the ensuing torpedoes from Silver Talls. And now Nesquik surging forward with the rest of his team. They're going to get a complete team wipe. It's going to be a really hard touch for the Super Saiyans. They don't have any super fast characters. Pokemon Guy's going to try to get it, but he's just not quick enough. And that is the cap for the Keyblade Masters. 3:16 on the clock. It looked better for the Super Saiyans when they actually had 5 people in the lobby, but that's tough.
Yeah, not being able to use your Annihilation there is very unfortunate. That Blossom really well timed, kind of before they could get set, and gets basically just a free fight when immediately before it even starts. And the Keyblade Masters built a lot of momentum snowballing that map. Obviously with the DCs it makes it easier, but 3-minute cap, it's gonna be pretty uphill battle.
Ready for battle.
And if you're the Saiyans, you just think that maybe this map, just treat it as a loss. Just unfortunate to the disconnects. Go next map. Think about what you could do. Just switch it up. Does Greg's internet come back? If not, then potentially they might even need a second ringer. Because I'm not sure if they have any fantastic lineups with Greg on the bench.
Yeah, looks like they're trying to get a ringer for next map. I think that's gonna be maybe the saving grace. Gonna be a 2-ringer match for the Saiyans. Definitely not awesome for everyone involved. Foliage going on the cast here. It's gonna be a Casimir. So kind of electing the Hanzo this map instead of the Bastion. Might be a little easier for Tommy Slap to play the game now.
And Foliage is taking a flank here through the hotel. Just catches it kind of completely off guard there. Big Brain going to turn around for it. It ends up being a trade 1-for-1, but in doing so, Big Brain has completely given up all the space on point to Tommy Slat here. They've taken the corner. Super Saiyans now looking to put more pressure on the front line. Tommy Slat just going to walk up to this high ground, secure it for his team. It's really going to try to push the Keyblade Masters into the corner of the map. Big Brain still kind of playing a little bit up. Has to be careful in this statue. His supports can't see him around the corner. And sure enough, he just goes down with the help of Laura's bolts there.
They got nice angles here, though. Saikana and Captain Rex went on a nice flank. They're still lurking in the back line. Saikana on this high ground. Nice headshot on the Foliage. It's gonna be really hard. Yeah, I think they have to just disengage. I mean,
Oh, and Laura dies in spawn too. Nesquix has made his way all the way into spawn. Take kind of with another trade. That's huge because it bought enough time for the rest of the team to get back. What a play by both DPS there from the Keyblade Masters, holding on to the point by themselves.
I disagree with Tommy Slash decision. I think Tommy Slash should have stayed on point. I think backing there for that kill in the spawn was a massive waste of his time, and losing the objective pressure was really all you had in that fight. And the spawns come back for the Keyblade Masters, and you basically got nothing from that 2-minute exchange. You did nothing.
Yeah, Tommy Slash may have been able to get a tick there if he'd stayed. Instead, 0% on the board for the Super Saiyans. 2 minutes already elapsed, and almost 5 ults online here for the Keyblade Masters. They have everything to work with. I imagine it'll be potentially the Coalescence or the Dragons first, and it is the Dragons from Seikana just cutting off Tommy Slat. The Ram has nowhere to go. Gonna go down first here. Big Brain gonna walk forward through the choke, trying to look for more. It's actually gonna invest the Annihilation as well. I'm not sure if they needed that one. And Laura actually got a nice trade onto Nesquix as well.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely didn't need it, but you still have Rush, you still have Ray and Cole. Probably gonna get a Cole going this next fight. That ultimate builds so quickly. Tommy Slat has still not built his Annihilation.
Still gonna walk forward into the backline anyways. Good slow onto Silvertalls. And the follow-up punches are good. The beam had come down, but the rest of the ults here are good for the Super Saiyans. Annihilation, Kitsune Rush from Master Jedi, putting in a lot of work. Nesquix did find one with the high noon on the high ground, but this point is going to be capped here by the Super Saiyans. The retouch, it will be with only 3 people, make that 2, as Foliage had made his way up to the high ground and taken down Nesquix here. The respawns are back, so 4 members alive, but Foliage is still in the back line, causing lots of problems. A 3K for the Reaper, 4K for Foliage in that fight. Goes crazy on the flank and gets the Super Saiyans the point 8 cap.
Yeah, a bunch of ults used. I think like 9 ultimates used in that fight. Coming out of it, Foliage is the only one with an ult, but it is a nice win for the Saiyans. I think Lore getting a lot of value on this Freya. I'd say Kana's been doing very well on the Hanzo as well, but I think on this part of the map, you'd expect the Freya Reaper to get a little more value on these side fights.
The Reaper, Foliage already hiding up on this high ground. Seikana spotted out though, and Nesquix hits the flashbang. And so the Reaper gets shut down there, trying to go for a sneaky play. Instead, it's going to cost his team. As now Big Brain surging forward with the man advantage, just putting punches onto the backline. Master Jedi in a lot of trouble. Does get around the corner of safety here. And so there won't be any further damage, but it does allow the Keyblade Masters to set up and hold this choke.
Yeah, some nice ultimates coming up. Ray is building for Pokemon Guy. We're 90 to Ray. It's going to probably be the engage tool for this fight, but Big Brain crucially has this Annihilation as well. He sees it.
Yeah, but Foliage
Death Blossom.
with another huge Death Blossom. This guy is just crazy on the Reaper. He's just clip farming every single time I see him play this hero. Big Brain, though, doesn't want to give up the fight just like that. Still punching on point. Nesquix, you know, couldn't do much. Silvertalls eventually went down as well. And so Big Brains, the heroics, that weren't quite enough. The Blossom from Foliage, it was good. Super Saiyans still keeping their push alive for now, and they have both support ults as well coming into this next fight.
Yeah, 4 support ults building up for this fight. It's going to be interesting to see if all 4 get used, kind of like last time. And Tommy Slat has this Annihilation. Maybe push some tempo with that. Dragon splits him off.
Yeah, and gets both supports really low, and the orb from Captain Rex just does enough to finish off Master Jedi. Still, the Super Saiyans wanting to fight back into this, investing the beam, investing in the Annihilation. Seikana goes down, Foliage just found 2. And so they actually have the advantage now to the Super Saiyans. It's a huge slow into the backline from Tommy Slat, catches down on Silvertalls. And that's going to be the point B cap here for the Super Saiyans. The time bank, it's not going to be as good as the Keyblade Masters, but there's still an opportunity to cap with time, potentially.
Yeah, no huge ults used for the Keyblade Masters. Foliage, they've had enough of the TPs. Nesquix marking that. But they do have this rush. You know, I think it was nice they committed 4v5 last time. I think this time they're going to take it a little slower. It'd be interesting, again, as I mentioned, to see if Silvertolls and Captain Rex overlap these ultimates. I think that would be a massive mistake.
Kitsune Rush actually out first here from Master Jedi. Doesn't care the ults they're walking into. Nesquik had put down the high noon, but it's a good bola from Lore just to keep Nesquik in check there. And now Captain Rex going with the Coalescence, but Sekana dies through it. And so the sustain just isn't there. Big Brain now has to invest the Annihilation to salvage this fight now for the Keyblade Masters. And Silvertolls hits the torpedoes as well onto Lore. So it is going to be won by the Keyblade Masters. Cost them a little bit more than they would have liked, I think. But however, they still have the beam coming up in this next fight.
Yeah, save the beam, but you have a bunch of ults on the side of the Saiyans here. You have this Annihilation, you have this Death Blossom, crucially, and you also have a Ray of your own. I think they have a slight advantage coming into this next fight.
Foliage TP'd up to the high ground, looking for Sekana. Was forced into the raid. Tommy Sled going super deep, forced the Annihilation, but Foliage is back in with the TP, has found Nesquik into the back line now, and now further into the back. Silvertall's in a lot of trouble here. 2K from Foliage now, looking for more. Captain Rex forced to right the way back into the spawn. Sekana's on the other side as well, just trying to get to safety. A good slow, though, from Tommy Slat's going to take them down. And now it's a huge opportunity for the Saiyans. They need to cap this fight if they want to have any time left. Silvertall is coming back in with the beam. Going to throw it down onto point. Nesquik also has the high noon in hand and finds Lore with that one as well. Master Jedi so low, going to go down on point. The trades are just not favoring the Super Saiyans at all. Foliage died with the Blossom, and it's only TC left running back to spawn. 6 seconds left, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to touch the Keyblade Masters. Going to win map number 1.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly, to be honest, from the Keyblade Masters, but they did enough. I think the DPS players especially were very solid, and I think Big Brain has to give some credit, like playing with a pretty unconventional backline, getting value. I thought that one fight where he kind of played on cart by himself and was able to get some trades going, I think was very, very good. I think that's kind of the way they want to play this with the Moira, right? They're kind of like looking to make it scrappy, looking to get trades, and I think ultimately like they did what they needed to do.
Okay, scoreboard into the map. Big Brain 28-6, Nesquik's 28-8. A lot more deaths than you would like to see from the Keyblade Masters, considering how dominant that was, but they get the win nonetheless. You know, may not have been a pretty map, may not have been the way the Keyblade Masters wanted to do it, but a win's a win, and you know they're going to take it in this series, I think.
Yeah, you can't complain.
However, for now, we are going to go to a short little break. Super Saiyans, I think, currently looking for a ringer to replace Greg, having those PC issues. Hopefully, with the help of a new player, they might be able to get back in this series, but you'll have to find out after we come back for a short little break. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch Clash continues after this.
These These beats are the purest. Prove it, prove it.
Welcome back, everyone, to Aurora Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, Week number 6. The Keyblade Masters up 1-0 after a really unfortunate map number 1 for the Super Saiyans, and unfortunately their, difficulties with their internet and ringers is going to continue here on map number 2, as they still do not have a ringer available for Greg, nor is Greg in the lobby, so they're going to continue to run their scuffed comp with Master Jedi in on support. We are going to go to Secret Royale as picked by the Keyblade Masters. Saiyans also chose to go ban first, banning out the Sigma. Keyblade Masters banning out the Sojourn in response.
Yeah, it's a good map pick for the Keyblade Masters. So get them in the mechanics going. Gonna get AO subbed in. Think the Sig ban makes sense. Silvertall's been playing that. Think Silvertall's might play Zarya, honestly. And I don't exactly know what the Saiyans are gonna play. This Masters Jedi Pokemon guy backline. Who knows? You got any ideas, Nave?
No, I mean, I honestly haven't seen Master Jedi really play support ever. I mean, if you look at the stats, he actually, I don't think has a single map recorded on support this season. So it seemingly hasn't played it before last map. It's obviously not the lineup the Saiyans want to run. They're going to try to do their best with it. With the Sig band, I imagine Tommy Slat's just going to keep playing Ramatra. Silvertall's, it'd be interesting to see if he goes over to the Tsar. We've seen a lot from him this season with the Sig ban, so I'm not exactly sure what the Keyblade Masters are going to run on this map. I expect AO and Nesquix to play this double hit scan look that's, of course, really strong on circuit, so probably still favoring the Keyblade Masters.
Yeah. I've seen Silvertall's play Zarya on this map earlier in the season, so I think it would just go back to that, but they also could just go Ramatra. Does Master Jedi signed up on DPS? Does he have to play DPS? I don't know how that works.
I'm not 100% certain. I think they signed up on Flex. I could be wrong.
Ready for battle.
Gonna be them kind of hovering the same type of comp that they were on King's Row with the Ramatra, Freya, Juno, Kiriko, and then the Keyblade Masters going a little different of a look. They're on the Zarya, on the Mizuki.
I do think this
interesting to play Zarya with no speed though.
Yeah, I do think this comp for the Keyblade Masters is definitely not ideal on this map. Zar with no speed. Also, Mizuki just kind of getting outranged on this map, especially. If Foliage is on maybe a different hero other than Soldier, I would favor the Super Saiyans comp a lot more. I'm not a big fan of the Soldier look. Of course, Foliage could go over to something like the Mei, which we've seen a lot from them in the past, and I think would be really, really strong here into the Zarya, but they choose to go for the Soldier instead.
It's like getting a nice slow. Nesquix on the side fight. Gonna get a bubble. Tommy Slot's gonna have to give some space here. It's gonna be a little hard for him to do much, especially as you said, without that Mei. But nice pick from Lore with the bolt shot onto AO. Tommy Slot just waiting for his shooters to get the value, and it does come, and gonna send the Keyblade Masters back to the spawn room.
And that's the difficulty of this Keyblade Masters comp. You don't have any sort of shield to block off that, damage coming from the high ground. Normally, when you play like a Sigma on this map, they're shielding off that bridge, allowing your backline to walk around the corner, but that's just not available here with the Zarya. Maybe they can bubble one person, but they can't bubble multiple, so any shots coming in from Lore are going to be devastating. Of course, Signature Freya here from Lore, going to put a lot of work. Nesquix TPing into the backline, looking for some picks, but it's just not going to find it. Has to back up. Tommy Slide under a lot of pressure, though, but Block Slop is good enough to just get him around the corner. Silvertall's trying to chase this a little bit more, but he's got to be careful. He's walked into a slow. He's going to get out alive, but still, Super Saiyan's holding nice and strong on this corner, and with Nesquix down, they have a huge advantage now in this fight.
Really close still, though. Tommy Slot is super low. It's a 4v4, but obviously the defenders have a slight advantage here. Silvertall's is quite high charge. They're gonna have to respect that. Spawns are gonna be about even. it's looking like the Keyblade Masters are going to be able to take a little bit of space with this full charge Zarya.
Big Brain, though, has built this Kitsune Rush so quickly. However, the bola from Laura is good, and Master Jedi finds a headshot onto Ayo. And so despite the fact that this Kitsune Rush is out from Big Brain, it's actually the Saber Saiyans who have the mana advantage for now. But Tommy Slat, he got cut off. The rest of the Super Saiyans had backed so far away, they left their Ramatra to die. And it's going to be the first half of the Keyblade matches. I think it's a big mistake from the Super Saiyans not to use any ults, and I think they could have won that fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they could have definitely used a support ult to try to sustain, try to flip the fight. It's going to be, you know, this Bastion pick, again, is going to be problems for Tommy Slat's Ramatra, but he's a little too far, and they're going to commit the rush here to push down these cleanup kills. It's going to be a nice one ult fight for the Saiyans, and now they get to set up on their high ground.
Yeah, that was good. They invested the one. You know, you don't need to sit on 5 ults. They now get to sit up on this high ground. It's going to be super hard for the Keyblade Masters to get through this choke. Silvertall's just not going to be able to protect any of his backline. Nesquix especially is going to have a difficult time of it. Foliage sitting up on this high ground. Tommy Slat going to be holding close with the Annihilation. And here comes the Visor out from Foliage to start. The bubble had already been committed there by Silvertall, who's actually made his way up to the high ground, trying to get his Foliage. He's just going to drop, and now here comes the grab. But the bola gets blocked. It's a huge shield from Tommy Slap, keeping everyone on the Super Saiyans alive. Captain Rex trying to keep everyone up with the Sanctuary, but it's just a little bit too late. And so a huge shield by Tommy Slat, and a huge fight win by the Saiyans.
Disastrous fight for the Keyblade Master. That grab was extremely ambitious. And the Mizuki ult was even more ambitious. They're going to make the swap over the Juno, get some speed for the Zarya. I think that's going to help. But they still have a pretty massive ult disadvantage. Looks like the Saiyans are finding a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, and they're still holding close as well. They want to just not allow this Keyblade Masters team to get up to this high ground. Silvertalls does find a trade onto Foliage. And with those Bastion bombs, Tommy Slat is just going to back up ever so slightly here around this corner. Suzu Force there from Master Jedi. And Big Brain, he's holding the Kitsune Rush in his hand. Probably going to use it around the corner. Here it comes. Tommy Slat instantly going with the Annihilation, though. And the bull is good onto Nesquix. Bubble out from Silvertalls, but doesn't have one for himself. And so Tommy Slat walking forward so low as the Ramatra, but he's going to survive. And it's numbers advantage here for the Super Saiyans. Foliage with another onto Captain Rex. Silvertall is left alive here, but it's just going to mean he gets staggered out a little bit later. Another good fight from the Saiyans. And 2 minutes left on the clock now.
And yo, might die here. A little caught out. All eyes on them, but is going to get out. They still have this rush. Still have an ult advantage. It feels like the Saiyans have had an ult advantage for the last 4 fights. It's been really hard for Silvertalls to really get into the space. It's a nice slow by Tommy Slat. Rush is used as well, and Silvertalls is going to die here.
Yeah, it's just perfect from the Saiyans. Silvertalls tries to walk up, but the rush is just there for Master Jedi. Another one ult fight win here. And like you said, the Keyblade Masters, their ult situation isn't any better. Silvertalls 60%, Ayo 60%, Nesquik 60%. And with a minute 20 left, it's going to be basically until overtime till the Keyblade Masters get any ults online. So they are going to make the swaps. Nesquix, of course, when all else fails, back on the Symmetra. Would you expect anything else from this guy? TP up to the high ground. But the bola is huge from Lore. Catches on to the Symmetra. And now Foliage continuing with this Visor stuck on the stairs. Ayo is here. Big Brain had the TP away, but the Frey is not quite as lucky. The Keyblade Masters are completely split off here. The supports have flipped the map, but Silvertalls is still on point. Captain Rex is going to go down. Silvertalls and Nesquix last alive here, but these staggers might just be the end of it.
Yeah, Ness gets a TP out. It's a nice Suzu from Big Brain there to keep Silvertalls up, but Lore manages to find Big Brain anyway. And now it's 30 seconds left. They do have this grab and the Ray coming up. That's kind of the saving grace here. They have to build this grab, man.
Yeah, if Pokemon Guy goes quickly here and they blow up Silvertalls, he might not even get grabbed for the last fight. Captain Rex has to have a huge beam here if there's going to be any chance for the Keyblade Masters. Now 12 seconds left. Silvertall is making his way out to point. Big Brain there as well. So slow on to Captain Rex and he goes down. The Juno Jax is out. Silvertall's 99% to the grab. Builds it up, throws it down, but he dies in the middle of it. The Super Saiyans, what an incredible hold from them here. shutting down the Keyblade Masters push only 26 meters into second point.
No, Greg, no problem. The Saiyans, with a heroic effort, Foliage 8k damage on Soldier. I dealt with this yesterday. This guy's Soldier is nasty. That character isn't that good, but Foliage manages to make it kind of good. And this is even a good Soldier map. All of those things may be true, but the Saiyans, with the help and the stability of the Tommy Slot Ramatra, have been able to string multiple fight wins together, and are now looking to tie up the series if they can put together a respectable attack.
And crucially, look at this. Both Master Jedi and Pokemon guy, 0 deaths. 0 deaths for the supports of the Super Saiyans. Absolutely crucial on their defense there. It's looking like maybe a huge mistake from the Keyblade Masters to pick this map. They chose to go to Circuit Royale, walked right into the Sigma ban from the Super Saiyans, and it feels like Silvertall's, the Zarya, it just didn't work out the way that they wanted it to.
Yeah, I don't think you can play the Zarya without the speed. They went to the Juno, but it was a little too late. I think if you're playing the Zarya, you kind of have to play the Lucio. I think those characters are kind of intertwined, and them not opting it, obviously the lack of the Lucio player makes it pretty hard. We're going to see Silvertall's going to the Ramatra now with this Mei, with this Mizuki. Much better comp for the Keyblade Masters on this defense.
Indeed, it's a better comp, but have they set themselves up with too hard of a difficult defense, as only 26 meters into the second point? The Saiyans, they don't have to go very far. Silvertall's in a little bit of pressure here. Does get the form, does get the care, but has to be careful not to go too low. Force the Suzu out there from Big Brain into the slow, and now Silvertall has no cooldowns left, still in this open area. Forced back super low, and Foliage gets the kill there. Nesquix was just not quite, with the wall in time. And now Tommy Slide walking in, getting more kills onto Big Brain. Foliage with a 2k. Second kill onto AO.
Wow, Foliage is like cheating.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. Best soldier since, Water I've seen. I don't know. Nobody ever plays this hero, but this guy's looking good.
Got 10k damage. Building up this visor. They have this sights coming up as well.
And look at where he's standing. He's taking this aggressive off angle here, knowing that they have to play the point. Lore gets a headshot into Nesquix to start the fight. Ayo in a lot of trouble, goes flying up into the air, but Foliage has really good tracking, takes that one down. Lore had found a second, and this is a disaster for the Keyblade Masters. 5 minutes on the time bank, and these late staggers mean that the Super Saiyans are able to hold up. It's going to be really hard for anyone on the Keyblade Masters to even touch. Silvertall's has swapped ball already.
Yeah, I mean, they're just fully into stall mode. They are going to get it. There's no way Silvertall's doesn't get a touch here. It's going to go from this left side, but they're walking into a bunch of ultimates. The Annihilation, the Tactical Visor, it's going to be hard. And Silvertall's already dead. I mean, it's basically over.
Yeah, the ults come through here for the Super Saiyans, and that's just going to be it. What a response from them, down one of their players, playing comp they've never practiced before, but still absolutely dominant on Circuit Royale, tying up this series.
Yeah, I think you have to imagine that maybe the Ringer situation actually hurt the Keyblade Masters a little bit. Having to deal with, accusations of unethicalness from me. I'll apologize now. I think they need to go back to the drawing board, focus up, pick a map that they feel good about it. I think, I would go back to the Big Brain on tank. I think they looked very good on that. I think that was where their strength was. Maybe opt into that Ramatra mirror, and I think they should be able to find their footing again.
What a response by the Super Saiyans. Still in this series very much. Greg has also just started playing Overwatch, so potentially they have fixed their internet issues. And so Super Saiyans right back into it. We'll see if the Keyblade Masters find a way back into the series after a short little break. Don't go anywhere. Overwatch class continues after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Aurora Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, Week number 6. Super Saiyans with an incredible bounce back on map number 2, tying up our series 1-1. We move over to Ilios now, as picked by the Keyblade Master as a theme, as picked by the Saiyans, as a theme starting in this series of teams always choosing to go for ban first. The Keyblade Master is banning out the Fran. Not a huge surprise. Lore was incredible on that last map. Super Saiyan's going to ban out the Mauga in response here. How do you think about these bans, Fish?
What was the first ban? It was Mauga and what?
Freya.
Freya. Yeah, I think Freya makes sense. I like the map pick of Ilios. It's just it's a map where you can set up angles and kind of play this kind of freaky style of Overwatch that it seems that Foliage is leaning into. And then I think the Mauga ban is interesting. I don't entirely know what they're covering for. Maybe it's because they want to play Ramatra, and I don't know. It seems like maybe that's my best guess, is because Tommy Slot wants to play Ramatra here, and Mauga's good into Ramatra. Oh, Winston. That works too. So I think it's maybe because they wanted to play Winston, and Mauga's good into Winston. I think that's probably the theory with that pick.
Potentially here, we are going to have some comp swaps. Master Jedi has to come in to play their mandated one map on DPS. Greg is actually back in the lobby, hopefully this time with no internet problems. The Keyblade Master is going to swap back to the comp they ran on map number 1 with Seikana in on DPS and Silvertall's Big Brain swapping over on support and DPS.
Yeah, I like this Lucio look from the Saiyans. I do think it's going to be challenging to play Winston into this, even without the Mauga. Into the Mizuki, into the Cass. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be a pick from Nesquik very early.
Just
a
rolls
little
through.
ISO.
Yeah.
Very low. Yeah.
Took a lot of damage
quick
there.
fight win.
The slow plus the flash fan there from Nesquik and Big Brain. Just a little bit too strong for the Winston to handle. And interesting Foliage going to stay on the Soldier 76. I mean, it looked great last map, so it's not too surprising here. It is going to be time to start swapping off the Winston. I think this makes a lot of sense. Winston's just kind of not a great hero, honestly, right now. And into this comp, the Keyblade Masters, I wouldn't want to play into the Cast Reaper anyways.
Wow, Nesquik is farming.
Yeah, Nesquik is just, I mean, he's been doing his thing. Now he's on this cast, walking forward, looking for more shots onto Greg. It's going to get out of it, but Tommy Slat just not quite as lucky. The Keyblade Master's off to a really strong start here.
Yeah, I think the soldier idea is definitely cute, but it's tough to set up, especially, and this is also the worst one of the three. It's the most front to back map of the three. It's a little unlucky there. And this Cass is just being able to kind of sit in main, not get pressure at all, and just click heads.
They take a little fight in the side room. Both Ramatra is just fighting over that Mega Pack. Eventually, Big Brain's going to back up here. Foliage trying to take this left side angle with the help of Tommy Slat, forcing Seikana back onto the point there. They do get across this bridge, but Tommy Slat's taking a lot of damage in the meantime. This Ramatra forced to block for their life. Suzu out, but I don't think it's be enough to keep him alive. Nesquik has found 2 more kills. And this guy has gotten first pick, I think, every single fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just watching his POV. I mean, they're trying to pressure him, but with the lack of flankers and the lack of really anything, it's hard for them to be able to. And Nesquik kind of just gets to sit and play Kovacs. Gonna look at him going for a noon play on this high ground. It's 2 quick shots on Lore.
Kitsunair rush out from Lore. Counter consider rush here from Silvertall, but Nesquik is still in the back line, and Master Jedi backed right into that one. Big Brain had also invested the Annihilation, all of that as well, so all of the ults are good here from the Keyblade Masters. It is last fight, and so Foliage is going to try to turn it with the Visor, but it's just Tommy Slat left after the Soldier goes down. Blossom in the face of the Ramatra. Eventually does enough damage. It's only Big Brain alive on point, but Master Jedi can't touch, and Greg also isn't back in time. So it's a 100-0 here for the Keyblade Masters. A really strong start here on Ilios.
Yeah. As I said earlier, that is the best map for the Keyblade Masters in this brawl look, so maybe they're going to be able to set up angles more on these next couple points. But going to be Foliage showing the Reaper here. I can see it working, but I could also see it struggling a little bit into this cast. I think that's going to be the main threat they have to focus on.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Super Saiyans making a slight adjustment to the comp.
Capture.
Foliage on the Reaper, Master Jedi playing the cast, but some pauses come out here from lore.
not here.
Never mind, they say. I think potentially some issues. They said Sojo's still banned. I think they wanted to play Sojourn, maybe, but it was still banned from last map. That would be really unfortunate here for the Super Saiyans if that was the case. Master Jedi rolling backwards. Tommy Slat still so much pressure onto the Ramatra. The shield behind is good from Big Brain, just cutting off that healing. And they do take down. Greg does trade one, though. The other side, seemingly the internet, so far so good from Greg. But the cap still going the way of the Super Saiyans regardless.
Yeah, despite the first pick, the space gained from Big Brain, able to secure this objective here. No, obviously Tommy Slap falling. It's a nice little trade in the backline here from Foliage. It's going to get two. I mean, Saikana, I mean...
Yeah, Greg tried to go into the back, fight the Reaper. It just didn't quite work out for him, though. Saikana's going to win that one. And now Suzu forced out from lore. Big Brain punching forward, looking for trades, looking for more. But stabilization is good from the Saiyans. Foliage going to swap over to the Bastion. Interesting swap here. Maybe just trying to put some more pressure onto the front line, make Big Brain's life a little bit harder. But Big Brain already has the Annihilation, and so they might try to go really aggressive with that one. Form onto point now from Foliage. Annihilation in response on the edge of the point. Greg went for the boop. Didn't quite get it. It's going to cost them their life, and with Nescooks finding a second, this Kitsune Rush might just be too little too late for the Super Saiyans. Nesquix kills 3, 4, I think, in the fight. And the Keyblade Masters, 60+%, 4 ults in hand. They're running away with it.
Yeah, it seems like Nesquix is a little upset at the fact that they lost the last map, is playing out of their mind this map. Seems to just be hitting quite literally every shot. Staging here for a flank Noon, maybe. Just maybe controlling the lane. Big Brain is very in.
Yeah, interesting. Big Brain's on the same flank that Nesquix is trying to be on, and so maybe not exactly ideal there. However, now they take the fight back towards the center of the point. Beat from Greg, counteracting this Kitsune Rush from Silver Tulls, but the Keyblade Masters still have so many more ults to layer in top of it. Blossom plus Sanctuary is just good. 3 kills go their way. It's only Tommy Slat with an Annihilation left on point. A lot of low health bars on the side of the Keyblade Masters, but Tommy Slat's just not able to find anything, and that's just going to be it. As soon as that ult ends, eventually they're going to bleed out here. Greg does trade 1, but they're going to need a lot more than that. Foliage close to their own ultimate,
Nice flank from Foliage.
but they still need a lot more with Tommy Slat going down. It's only the Bastion to contest this point any longer, and he's going to go down. So the Keyblade Masters,
Dominant.
very dominant on map number 3.
Yeah, definitely. I think map 1, as I said, was a little sloppy. Map 2 was kind of dominant in the Saiyan side. Map 3, that was the most dominant map of this series. Big Brain 24-0. The Keyblade Masters have once again found their footing. Greg, you have to feel for Greg in this situation. Team wins without him. Comes back, gets stomped. Might be a little hard to keep the mental up.
Potentially, look at the scoreboard. Big Brain 24-0. Nesquix 17-3. Almost 7k damage in just over 6.5 minutes. What a showing from the Keyblade Masters on this map. They looked so good, and they're set themselves up nicely to close out this series 3-1. But the Super Saiyans, they looked like they were out after map 1. They fought their way back into it. So we'll see if they can fight their way back into the series again after a short little break. Don't go anywhere more. Overwatch Clash continues after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Aurora Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, week number 6. The Kokomo Keyblade Masters have taken the lead in the series 2-1, looking to close us out here on map number 4 as we move over to Runasapi. As picked once again by the Keyblade Masters, because ban first, seemingly the meta in this series. Super Saiyan's going to ban the Zarya first with their ban, the Keyblade Masters banning the Soldier in response. And we have some developments on the roster side as Altair is actually here in the lobby. And so no more Ringer, no more Tommy Slide, Altair finally in. They're going to swap back to their quote-unquote comp from map number 1. Hopefully with Greg not DCing this time on support. And the Keyblade Masters going to swap to what they were running on Sukuria with Silver Tall's tank, Big Brain support, AO in on the DPS.
I have no clue what either team is running right now. Just absolutely zero idea. Demon. Gonna be Altair hovering the Demon foliage on the Genji. Gonna be the Kiryu. I knew that was coming. Supertals has not selected a tank. Seems like he doesn't even know. I would assume Supertals probably locks Ramatra here. That would just be my guess.
Yeah.
Is gonna be Ramatra. I think this is a decent matchup. I think Ram does pretty well into the Demon, but I do think the Demon is pretty strong. Saw it a lot in Face It today. It does just survive. That character lives forever. It has 750 HP, half of it of his armor.
We've seen Didn't You See Me pilot the Demon in Aurora to great success, just completely bullying the backline of the opposing team, and he's already causing Big Brain some problems, just forcing the Kiriko to use the cooldowns, TP away. But with the help of the buff onto the speed, they're just able to reposition so quickly, turning around for Nesquix. Nesquix found the first pick, but with this Demon being so fast, they traded right back, and now is gone back into the backline. Good chain, though, out from Captain Rex, and maybe that's a bit too aggressive there from Altair.
Yeah, I think the stability from this Ramatra is going to be challenging if you've never really played Demon before, if it's not like something you've practiced a lot. Greg is going to make the swap over to the Mizuki, which, I like it, but I think that it doesn't do very well into the Ramatra, and I'm not sure the Shion is going to be as important enough to warrant swapping characters entirely. It's going to be a side fight here. Who's going to get the cart?
Yeah, just the Keyblade Masters just pushing up here, almost to the checkpoint, the shield there from Silvertalls, just to make sure that they get extra meters out of it. Now Altair finally contesting it, but, you know, it's not a situation that Demon wants to be. They don't want to take this long extended fight. Is there a Mantra? They punch straight through that shield. Suzu forced out from Pokemon guys, but the angles are good from the Super Saiyans. Lore found the side shots into the Ramatra. Bola went a little bit wide, but the pressure was there. And the Super Saiyans, they get the fight win. Crucially, they don't give up the checkpoint.
Yeah, I think that fight is massive for the Saiyans. Really keeps them in it. Not giving the checkpoint there. They have a nice old bank building. It is going to be Big Brain, though, getting the rush first. We'll see how aggressive they want to take this fight with it. I think maybe going as early as possible is probably the optimal play.
Big Brain holding on to it. Pokemon Guy really close to their own rush as well. And so when this rush comes out from Big Brain, Pokemon Guy may choose to respond, but no, doesn't. The Super Saiyans, they tried to kite, but Pokemon Guy just dies in the disengage. It's horrible for the Super Saiyans. However, Foliage does get the trade. Altair, though, with no healing from the Kiriko, loses that mech. And so it's still now advantage.
Another one.
Yeah, Foliage.
Silvertall's is half HP. They're going to win this.
The DPS angles are so strong here from the Super Saiyans. No one was able to mark Foliage through all of that. And what a huge fight there from the DPS of the Super Saiyans. They had no tank, and they used no ults, and they clutch it up. Now they're going to be incredibly threatening on this checkpoint.
Yeah, that's really rough. Having this rush without the ability to counter it. Mizuki hasn't even built yet. It's going to be the Bola used first from Lore. Bola's on both sides. Annihilation is used from Silvertall's and this Shion ult. Can they get into the Mizuki ult? They can't.
Oh.
They're trying to win this. Altair using the limit breaker and does find it.
Yeah, but however, the Sanctuary from Captain Rex is just a little bit off. The team wasn't inside of it. It's a big mistake there by the Keyblade Masters. It was a winnable fight for them, but Altair clutched up in the end, and that Captain Rex ult just not quite the position it needed to be. The cap had already come through, and so they're pushing the bot already. However, the far spawns are going to be tough here, so they have to back up. Altair still has no mech. So the Keyblade Masters may be able to push his advantage, though they have to go quickly.
Yeah, but crucially, like, Pokemon Guy still has this rush. They don't have the mech, so I think they're going to wait for this mech and then rush.
Yeah, Keyblade Masters, they're taking a little bit too long. Altair, he's got the mech back. That was the opportunity for them. But now with this rush, the Super Saiyan surging back towards this fight. Swings here from Altair, and Foliage gets the first pick once again to 2k from this Tracer. This guy's going crazy. Someone's caught behind. It's Nesquik. He doesn't want to be there. And so he gets traded out late. And the Super Saiyans, they've already done the job of getting this checkpoint, so they're able to continue this push. Suzu's good from Big Brain to make sure that Silvertall's using this mech, but they're using this Kitsune Rush. Maybe not quite what they wanted to do. The Super Saiyans are just going to kite this one.
It's not the end of the world. Getting this corner, I think, is important for the Keyblade Masters. You really don't want to be stuck on that part of that map. They can kind of play the corner now. Silvertall's is taking a lot of damage. But so is Altair.
Yeah, Silvertall's just goes down
nice
though.
mech.
Lore there, the nice shots to secure that mech. Bola once again not hitting, but they don't need it. The bolts are good enough. Captain Rex does get a good trade onto Foliage, but the Tracer's going to be back faster than anyone else, and they already had forward spawns. So it's not going to make too much a difference in the end. Super Saiyans now with a considerable lead, 40 plus meters on the board over the Keyblade Masters. Greg still has the Sanctuary in hand. Keyblade Masters do have a few ults to work with, but they need to win this fight, or this lead from the Super Saiyans is going to balloon. And that's a good start. Big Brain getting the headshot there onto Foliage, finally shutting down this Tracer, is causing so many problems. Suzu was forced out, so limit break here from both Demons. However, I think they're just going to be able to survive for a little bit longer. But Silvertalls does find the kill onto Greg, and with Altair falling, stabilization here from the Keyblade Masters. Only cost them the Demon ult to do it.
Yeah, really well played from the Keyblade Masters. That part of the map is brutal. I think this map is not my favorite just because of that. It's really hard to get out of your own spawn. Very well played, though, and they have a nice ult bank here. Big Brain has this rush. I think he's going to go for it soon.
Lore just gets incredible 2 bolts there onto Captain Rex. The Bola wasn't even necessary. And with Silvertall's losing mech, it's a disaster. However, they do steal the checkpoint. That is big. They've stolen this checkpoint away, so everyone is going to get close spawns here for the Keyblade Masters.
Yeah, I didn't mind that fight from the Keyblade Masters. I actually would have liked them to not have committed anything as soon as they kind of stole the cart there. But they are going to have this huge support ult advantage. If they can just get a fight at mid here, it'd be pretty huge.
Kitsune Rush out from Big Brain. They want to take use of this advantage that they have in support ults. Super Saiyan's kiting it so far, but Lore, he needed that Suzu from Pokemon Guide to stay alive here. Altair still fighting in the side room. Silvertall's flying in, trying to contest them. He's just going to go back to point now. They still have the Sanctuary advantage, so the Keyblade Masters might try to fight into this one, but Greg has gotten the kill onto Nesquik, potentially a chain. I didn't quite see what happened there to the Tracer. And Foliage with a second onto Ayo means that the Super Saiyans are just going to hold on here with 0 ults expended.
Yeah, that was the fight that they needed, I think. Not winning that means that you're going to have this bot get pushed all the way to close spawns. For the Saiyans, they don't have the mech, which isn't awesome, but they're already 60% of it. I'd be shocked if they weren't able to get the mech before the fight is over.
Nesquik's going to swap over to the Sojourn. Maybe that's the swap the Keyblade Masters need to get back into this fight. Foliage hiding behind, looking for potentially a sneaky pulse bomb, but it is scouted out here. Lore went for the Bola shot, didn't quite connect, and with Silvertall's finding the pick and the ult invested here by the Keyblade Masters are looking so good in this fight so far. No trades would be huge for them. as they did, have the close spawns activated, but no further damage is done.
Yeah, again, sound like a broken record, but that's a nice play from Keyblade, and that really keeps them in it. I think if they lost that, it would have been all she wrote. A minute left. It's probably 3-fight territory. Gonna have to win this next fight for sure.
Both limit breaks back online here for the Demons. The Sanctuary from Greg could be huge. Pokemon Guy also really close to his own Kitsune Rush. Might be the cherry on top for the Super Saiyans with 60 seconds left. But Silvertall's finding first pick onto Lore is huge. Altair fighting on point. Limit break. Ayo right in front of him takes down the Freya. Sanctuary was invested as well as the Kitsune Rush in from Pokemon Guy. The Super Saiyans, they want to hold this here. However, the counter Kitsune Rush is just a little bit better from Big Brain. Silvertalls goes down, though, to Pokemon Guy, and that might just do it. Foliage following up with the Bola shot from Lore. And these staggers are absolutely brutal for the Keyblade Masters. It's only Captain Rex alive here. AO has come back from spawn, but with 18 seconds left, somebody's going to have to touch the point. Silvertalls might be able to get there in time. They're lucky that the Super Saiyans are pushing this bot, making it easier for them, and Altair still has no mech.
Yeah, that was a weird play. I mean, maybe they calculated that they thought they'd push it anyway. It's tough to say. Gonna have this OC coming up, though. That's kind of their saving grace here.
Altair going in early, but he just gets caught by the OC. Nesquick shots are good. Also following up into Pokemon Die. It's a 3K for the Sojourn. It's really nice shots there. Does get traded, but it's not going to matter. The Keyblade Master is finding an absolutely crucial fight win, and now with overtime spawns, they're threatening. There should be one more fight for the Super Saiyans, and Nesquick's dying means that he's going to be so far away from this fight, probably going to have to swap to something fast to be in it. Yes, he's going to go over to the Tracer. Still, the Sanctuary from Captain Rex might be the difference maker here. Altair going for the touch first.
Bola is used from Lore. Captain Rex falls super low. Suzu is used. It's a nice Mizuki ult.
Yeah, it's a huge Sanctuary on point to keep every one of the Keyblade Masters nice and healthy, and Foliage is taking a lot of damage. Altair, he can only last so long in the ball. Goes for one last slam. Can't get it. Pokemon Guy has to be the one to touch the point. Foliage is there as well, but it's just not going to matter. The Keyblade Masters, a lot messier than they would have liked, but they get the win on map number 4 and win the series 3-1.
Yeah, it's very well played from the Keyblade Masters in that last minute. Push really starts as a map in the last minute, and they played that perfectly. I thought Silvertalls really was finding his footing towards the last 2 minutes of that map, really learning how Demon works and the mechanics of it, and I thought that he really started to get the better of Altair in that matchup. But I want to shout out Big Brain specifically on that map. I thought the Kiriko play was very, very good.
Take a look at some of the stats from the last map. Big Brain, 13,000 healing, considerably more than anyone else in the lobby. Silvertalls,
also 6k damage.
Yeah, Silvertalls looking pretty good at that Demon as well. Stats don't look fantastic for the Keyblade Masters, but that's not the thing that matters. What matters is that they got the win and remain undefeated so far in the season. There's 2 teams that are currently 6-0. Keyblade Masters have had a lot of close games. This one's no different, but they remain undefeated nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know if Big Brain is here, but that would be my choice for MVP.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. I don't think we're going to have time for an interview, just because this game ran a little bit longer than we would have liked. But we are going to congratulate Big Brain on winning his MVP. He performed well today. His 2 maps on tank were stunning. And like you pointed out, that kick on the last map, I think really was the difference with the Keyblade Masters.
Yeah, I think that was a really nice play from them. And I also think the Demon swap from Silvertalls was kind of crucial. Seems like in that situation, the Demon was definitely the pick.
Yeah. So we are going to congratulate Big Brain. He did win MVP. We're not going to have an interview. And so that is just going to be it for us here on the cast. It's a fun series, and Keyblade Master has a lot to look forward to. Other side of the coin, the Super Saiyans, it's a tough stage for them, Fish. They go 0-3, unfortunately. are going to fall out of that top group, not guaranteed. Actually, sorry, they're not 0-3. They went 1-2. Excuse me. They didn't get a win, so I misspoke. But they are still going to finish, I believe, in the bottom half of the group, probably forced to qualify through playoffs in that second group. How are they looking going into this third group stage?
Yeah, I mean, the group they're going to be in is not going to be too challenging. Interestingly, going to have the unemployed Ender Dragons in their group, which is kind of going to be a wild card because they could be one of the best teams in the league, but they also might not be as good as they've shown in the last few games. But I think it's going to be important for the Saiyans to build kind of the momentum they built in this match. I think they did show some nice things in this match. Foliage again played very, very well. I'd like to see Altair be there, be supportive, and I think if they can get a comp going with those guys, I could see them having a nice stage.
Yeah, other side of the coin, Keyblade Masters remain undefeated, going to be the top of the Australis A division going into the last stage. It's looking like their opponents going to be the Toucanets, Atoms, and Hylians. That's going to be a very interesting group. I think they were on the first group with the Hylians, if my memory serves me right, and they did win that series. And so that'll be an interesting matchup to see that again. Toucanets, of course, another very strong team. I'm very intrigued to see how the ball would play into this Keyblade Masters team. I think the Ram and the Czar might be some issues into ball, but we'll have to wait for that matchup in the third stage. For now, though, we're going to send it off here. For Fish, I've been Nave. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good night.